1 News, ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
We begin with an AccuWeather alert tonight. Take a look at this. The Chicago area now under a winter weather advisory. This video from Kane County. Snow's falling there.
Yeah, it certainly is. And meteorologist Hysol Martinez, she's been tracking this system throughout the day, and it is incredible out there. We can see that, yes, the snow is certainly coming down in some parts of our area. Hysol, what are you doing out there?
Yes, so we are starting to see some accumulating snow in some areas here. We can switch to graphics 1, which is our main. There we go. And a winter weather advisory in effect for us all the way through 7 a.m. in the morning. And that's going to be because we have that accumulating snow. Yes, here in the city, in Chicago, we're not seeing that just yet, but we are expecting to get a little bit of some slushy accumulation in some spots. It really depends on our temperatures, because take a look. Right now in McHenry, it is 32 degrees, so it is falling as snow, and it's a little bit of that wet, heavy snow, so it's slushy and accumulating on back roads now. You can see O'Hare's at 34, so slowly starting to fall, but Plainfield at 42. So areas south of the city, not going to see much from this one. A look at the system, a wide view to show you that it is moving through, and I do think that we're going to have the heaviest of snowfall here in the next hour, 2, 3, 4 hours here. This is the heaviest that we'll see from this system. A closer look at radar showing you that we do have some pockets of rain south of the city from Joliet all the way through Kankakee, seeing some rain. Then you go further north and away from the lake. This is where we have some areas of some heavier snow. I'll zoom in here to show you that you can see some of these darker colors popping up. Fox Lake, Waukegan, seeing some of that heavy snow as well. It is that wet, heavy snow, and we will continue to have it here. Notice this is 10 p.m. on Futurecast to show you that that snow line kind of goes down a little bit here as we go through the next few hours. This is our accumulating snow from about 10 p.m. all the way through 2 in the morning, and then it really starts to shut down, and after that we're just talking a few flakes left over in our area. That is for today and tonight. Tomorrow, then this upcoming weekend, really not looking too bad, but we have that chance to accumulate a little bit more snow here as we go through Saturday night. We'll talk more about all of this coming up.
All right, Hysol, we'll check back in soon. And as Hysol just mentioned, no snow falling downtown just yet, but there is snow coming down in Kane County.
If there's snow, we're going to find it.
That's right.
Eric Hong is live in Lake Forest with the conditions there. Yeah, it's coming down. Eric, nice cameo for us on the 7. It's a pleasure to have you on the program.
Yeah, Robin, Cheryl, I found it. It's just kind of sloppy out here. We've been getting kind of a wet, heavy snow with those temperatures hovering around freezing. It's been sticking to the grassy surfaces for sure. A little bit of buildup on the tollway behind me, but we've really, in the last half hour or so, started to see some accumulation on non-treated surfaces here at the Lake Forest Oasis. The snow arriving just in time for the evening rush and really intensifying as night fell. We've been seeing thick, wet flakes here at the Oasis, and the winds really picked up in the last hour or so, I'd say. That's all leading to hampered visibility on the roadways here in nearby North Chicago. Salt trucks, they're loaded up, they're ready. They pre-salted the roads along with beet juice, and they're keeping a close eye on surface temperatures. The officials there, they tell me if it dips below 30 degrees on these surface temperatures, they're planning to upgrade their response because of icy conditions.
If the temperature drops and we get the precip, it's going to turn into all snow, and if the pavement temperature drops, then it's all hands on deck.
We pre-saw it and already prepped before the storm actually hits, so we're prepared for it so it doesn't get too bad.
It's been a relatively mild winter, and in North Chicago they've used about half the normal amount of salt, so there's plenty of supply for this storm and anything else that winter's planning over the next few weeks. But again, the snow falling here at this hour in this part of Lake County and much of Lake County, the northern part of the viewing area right now. These thick, wet flakes really accumulating on the grassy surfaces. We are starting to see, though, some buildup on the tollway behind me. The conditions are starting to get pretty slick. So if you can make it home fairly soon in the next, I'd say, 20 minutes or so, you may miss the worst of this, but it definitely is starting to intensify out here. We're live in Lake Forest. Eric Hong, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Many thanks, Eric. Appreciate the live report. Get dry. A shooting during a bank robbery in Chicago's Loop at Madison and Wacker. A security guard was injured. Stephanie Wade with the latest as the FBI searches for the suspect.
very tense moments for those who work in the loop this afternoon. The Chicago Fire Department says shots were fired during a bank robbery here at the Fifth Third Bank, injuring a security guard. The FBI releasing this surveillance photo moments ago of the suspect. They say he's still on the run. And take a look at this cell phone video shared with us from CWB Chicago, showing the suspect kneeling on the ground, stuffing money into a bag before leaving the bank. This incident happened at Madison and Wacker at 3 o'clock. You can see the shattered glass windows were shot out, multiple shell casings on the ground, where Chicago police say a suspect shot at a 59-year-old security guard. The Chicago Fire Department says a security guard suffered a graze wound to the hand and was treated at the scene, but was not taken to the hospital, while the suspect then ran down Madison Avenue. For a brief time, police shut down 500 West Madison and stopped all Metro trains to search for the suspect. We can tell you the building has been searched and is now cleared, but terrifying moments for those who work nearby.
I didn't see anything. I work right next to the window, and we heard a bunch of loud gunshots. And I thought it was thunder, but it was not. I got a notification that someone was shot. So, yeah, and then I just heard a bunch of police sirens, and I looked out the window and I saw it too.
Again, the FBI is still searching for the suspect. On your screen, one person was injured, but we are told the security guard is expected to be okay, having suffered a graze wound to the hand. Reporting in the Loop, Stephanie Wade, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Stephanie, thank you for that update. Now to today's emotional farewell for Chicago Police Officer Andres Vasquez Lasso.
You are now in the sunniest place of all. Eres grande, hermano. I love you.
Powerful tributes given during a tearful final goodbye at a funeral mass this morning.
His widow and mother joined by fellow officers and hundreds of mourners, all paying their final respects to the man who gave his life in the line of duty. Here's Michelle Gallardo.
The pageantry involved in a Chicago Police Department funeral is always a sight to behold. But behind the sea of blue and amazing grace and all the rest of it, there is a family in mourning.
To my cousin, my little brother, my fellow officer, we say farewell, but we will never forget you.
Delivered in both English and Spanish, it was an emotionally charged funeral service for 32-year-old officer Andres Mauricio Vasquez Lasso, who gave his life in service to the city a week ago Wednesday, his mother delivering a final coffin-side goodbye. Go with God, she said. Today I leave him in your hands. Thank you for the time and the years you gifted us. Born in Colombia, Officer Vasquez Lasso emigrated to the United States when he was 18 years old. He quickly learned to speak English, enrolling in college. By 27, he was a Chicago police officer. He married the love of his life just over 2 years ago.
The grief of this department hangs heavy and constant as I keep thinking, how will I ever get used to something like this? But the truth is, we're not supposed to.
But it was Officer Vasquez Lasso's own words, quoted from a recent Instagram post, that offered maybe the ultimate tribute, not just to the man he was, but to the police department he loved.
Behind this uniform, there's another human being just like you. This uniform doesn't make me a robot. This uniform is not a symbol of hate. This is not a symbol of us versus them. I hate injustice and lawlessness as well. That's why I became a cop. Even though my actions won't change the world, I can change the world of every person I get in contact with.
Officer Vasquez Lasso was laid to rest following the funeral service. The internment was closed to just family and friends. At St. Rita of Kasha, I'm Michelle Gallardo, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Michelle, thank you. After services at St. Rita's, Officer Vasquez Lasso's casket was taken to a private burial. It was a long procession of cars escorting the officer going north on the Dan Ryan near 51st Street just a few hours ago. I saw this coming into work. You can see they shut down the Ryan, and it was powerful to see that many law enforcement officers. We continue our coverage, remembering Officer Vasquez Lasso online. You can see full speeches from speakers today, and they are powerful, including Superintendent Brown and family members. It's on abc7chicago.com.
Beautiful tribute. May he rest in peace.
Yes.
The 7-year-old son of a Chicago firefighter has died. This happened after a fire, which also injured his mother and 2 siblings. Ezra Stewart passed away yesterday. The fire broke out Tuesday night in the family's home in the Montclair neighborhood on the northwest side. Investigators say the boy's father was on duty when he heard his own address on the scanner. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
Chicago police released surveillance video of a person wanted in connection with a double homicide. Let's take a look. The suspect seen here near the scene in the 900 block of East 80th Street in the East Chatham neighborhood. Police say 2 men were found dead inside a nearby apartment last month. Both had been shot in the head.
Now to the symbols of hate on display in Chicago's Edgewater neighborhood.
Mark Rivera spoke with the man who says he hung offensive flags in the windows of his apartment where they could be seen from blocks away.
To have that swastika flag there makes me sick to my stomach.
Edgewater taco owner Patricia Guerrero has lived in the neighborhood for decades.
Everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome, and that is scaring people away.
She says she's appalled by Nazi flags flying in an apartment window right behind her restaurant.
I'm Latina. I don't want that. I don't want to live in fear, because that's not what Edgewater's about.
The flags are visible from the street, but we've blurred the video. Guerrero says she's worked hard every day to give back to her neighbors and help bring the community together. And these symbols?
I will say something when I see something is not right, and that is not right. That is not okay, and that is not welcome here in our community.
Matthew Reyes says he lives in the city, is Jewish, and has always felt welcomed.
It's a lost cause, what they're fighting for. We're all Americans, and we need to come together in unity.
Peter Craig says he is the man who put the Nazi flags in those windows.
I don't like Nazis. Nobody likes Nazis. Nobody likes what happened in World War II. But everybody in America deserves to have their home as their sanctuary.
But he said he did so to get attention for his missing fiancée, Ariana Daniels. Craig says he was given an eviction notice specifically referencing the Nazi flags and is currently in discussions with his landlord to take them down.
I am not a skinhead. Along here, I'm a long here, peace-loving, freaky hippie.
But until he does, neighbors say they're frustrated with such a divisive display.
There should be zero tolerance for racism.
The only way to defeat hate is through love, and we welcome them to change eventually, and to see that everybody has the right to exist in this world, even them.
As of this afternoon, those flags have not been removed. We contacted property management group Root Realty for comment, but have not heard back from the property manager. In Edgewater, Mark Rivera, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
The first debate in the mayoral runoff is offering some important insights into what voters might expect from the 2 candidates in the next few weeks.
And as Brandon Johnson and Paul Vallis are offering different visions for Chicago, Craig Wall says there also appears to be a different campaign tactic.
Hey, Brandon. Hey. Brandon Johnson rolling out another endorsement today from the Illinois Nurses Association as he looks to keep building up union support for the runoff election.
And that's why I'm committed to making sure that we pass treatment, not trauma.
During last night's debate, Johnson was frequently on the attack against Paul Vallis.
Brandon Johnson was clearly trying to create another media moment for coverage after the debate was over.
Tom Bowen is a political strategist who worked on Lori Lightfoot and Rahm Emanuel's campaigns. He says negative campaigning tactics have been proven effective with voters.
There's a couple different ways to win in politics. Number one is to be known better than the other person. Number two is to be liked better than the other person. But number three is to not be as hated as much as the other person.
Vallis, for the most part, refrained from returning fire with fire during the debate.
Vallis held back. He kind of stayed above the fray. He responded to a couple things, but he's the front runner, so he doesn't want to get down in the mud. He wants to refrain from alienating any of the voters that he needs to win.
It's got me into the runoff, and I'm going to just stick to my plan to make it about the issues rather than a personalities. And I'll return fire when I needed to.
Johnson was asked if he was concerned that running a negative campaign might turn off voters.
Who's running a negative campaign? I mean, does this look negative to y'all?
Bowen says Vallis won't be able to simply run a positive promotional campaign from now until Election Day.
Paul Vallis is going to go negative. He's just going to do it in commercials, or allies of his will do it in paid media commercials.
Paul Vallis has launched a pair of new TV ads since advancing to the runoff. Sticking to his positive messaging tactic, Brandon Johnson is expected to release new ads for his campaign soon. Craig Wall, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
That race is certainly heating up, isn't it?
Yeah, next week we'll have a forum here, too.
That's right.
So we'll get to hear them right here in the studio.
Looking forward to it. A rescue dog finds his forever home after more than a year at a Naperville area shelter.
Could be my favorite story of the day.
Yes.
The Naperville Area Humane Society saved 3-year-old Major from euthanasia over a year ago. Yesterday, a semi-truck driver came in, met Major, and found his new best friend. After spending a few hours together, Major even figured out how to go. He's gonna get up in that semi. Didn't take him long. He figured that out, and now they're on the road to North Dakota. Yeah. And his new owner says they'll be taking plenty of road trips together. Look at these smile. Like, these dogs smile.
He's so cute. Like, I wonder what took it so long for him to get adopted. He's adorable.
I think some people sometimes hear about that breed and they make the wrong assumption.
Yeah.
Because these are wonderful dogs, clearly.
Oh, my goodness.
I wonder where he is now if he's back in Dakota.
Yes,
I mean, that's all. It's
he's
a
going
good
to make
story.
an amazing pet, you can tell.
Yeah.
All right, time now is 7:15. Coming up next, what Jimmy Kimmel has in store when he hosts the Oscars this weekend.
Talks to Jose. It's a good one. President Biden puts out his 2024 budget proposal. Why it's good news for Southside Red Line riders. No snow down here, although it looks a little wet out there.
Yeah, a little damp out there. It is an AccuWeather alert day, and we do have snow in some parts of our viewing area. Tracking the snow here is meteorologist Heisol Martinez. Heisol, how's it looking out there?
Yeah, so we do have some snow in some spots. Here in the city, right downtown, I don't think we're going to accumulate much, and that's because we have wind coming from the lake, and lake water or lake temperatures right now are in the upper 30s, and because of that, our temperature is going to try to match that. So it's going to be hard to stick anything here in the city, but the further out west you get, the more we're going to see snow here. That's why we have that winter weather advisory in effect. So we do have some rain notice here from areas near Chicago and south. You can start to see some pockets of rain here, and I'm going to go ahead and continue to zoom in to show you that some areas like in DeKalb, we're seeing a temperature right at freezing, so it is starting to stick, especially for back roads. I do think that we're going to have some snow sticking in back roads here. It's going to be slushy. It's that wet, sticky snow that we're dealing with because temperatures are just above freezing. So radar right now reading this as some snow, but I have some friends, Adrian and Lucia in Schaumburg, and they're telling me that it's mainly just coming down as just rain right now. So it is going to mix in here a little bit as we go through the next few hours. We will transition that rain and that sloppy stuff that we're seeing over to snow here as we get closer through that 10 p.m. hour, but it's only going to change over for a couple of hours, and then it's really going to start to wind down. You can see here around 3 in the morning that we're just dealing with a few light snow showers lingering in the area, and then that system is on its way out. Yes, there could be some slick spots for our northern and western suburbs. for back roads that aren't cleared by tomorrow morning, but I think for the most part, crews will have time to do that because a lot of this is winding down again between about 3, 4, 5 in the morning. We're just going to be seeing some very light snow out there. Here's 3 p.m. tomorrow to show you that yes, it will be cloudy out there, and every now and then you might have a snowflake or a sprinkle, but that's about it for this one. So we are still thinking that we're going to get about less than an inch, and it's going to be a sharp cutoff here. You can see Naperville about 1 to 3 possible, and then the further north you get, this is where we do have that potential to have 3 to 6. But here in the city, right along the lakefront, we're not going to get much. It's just going to be slushy accumulation that we get, and I do think for the most part it's going to be less than an inch here in the city right downtown because of that influence there from the lake. So as we go through the morning hours, here's what we're thinking. This model's doing a pretty good job at depicting what we think we're going to get here. So north of the city, we're expecting to get about 4, maybe 5 inches of snow, and then right near the city, notice here that we're mainly just going to get about an inch, and it's going to be a sloppy inch that we get. Geneva getting maybe close to about 2 inches of snow. West Chicago about 2 inches of snow as well. And then to the south, you can see United Center here just plotting about an inch of snow. And again, it's going to be sloppy. Northwest Indiana only expecting to get some snowflakes mixed in for you all. Then we turn the page to this weekend where we have the St. Patrick's Day parade noon. So right as the parade kicks off, about 34 degrees, and then by 3 p.m. looking at a temperature closer to about 35, so not moving much. We'll have a chilly breeze around that's going to make it feel like the 20s, but it could be worse, I guess, right? For again tomorrow, we do have some showers lingering in the morning. It's going to be in the form of some flurries. It's a little bit breezy through the day tomorrow. Saturday, we do have, I think, some snow at night. We could potentially get anywhere from patchy coatings to perhaps 2 inches of snow Saturday night and through Sunday morning. And then Sunday, we'll have a few snow showers across in the area. Monday, lake effect flurries. So kind of springing forward here and having still some temperatures that are going to be on the chilly side, feeling a little bit more like winter than spring, but we do eventually have some nice warmer weather. Wednesday and Thursday temperatures in the 40s and 50s.
Back in the 50s by Thursday?
Yeah, I moved over just to show you that. But
yes, thank you.
But first, we got to get through these 30s.
Are you going to be taking part in any St. Patty's Day festivities?
Perhaps. Yeah, I know we have the parade Saturday,
That's
so
big.
they need to bundle up, high school.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
34 degrees. That's not going to be too warm.
Yeah, Larry was saying that it was in the 20s, our actual temperatures last year. So at least we'll have that. I do think it's going to feel chilly. If you're going out there, you'll want to bundle up because of the breeze that we'll have around. It will make it feel more like the 20s, but temperatures in the mid 30s, still below average, but not too bad.
Couple green beers and people forget.
Yeah,
quickly.
definitely.
That is so true. They'll be warm before they know it.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. We are counting down to the Oscars. Just 3 more days until Hollywood's biggest celebration of movies and their magic.
Jimmy Kimmel returns as host for the 3rd time, and he tells our Jose Sanders that no wrong envelopes or punches thrown will stop him.
What's happening, Jose?
Hey, Jimmy, how you doing?
Is that wood sculpture of you behind you?
It's all me. Everything's me.
Listen, I've hosted this thing 9 times, and I say give the kid a shot. Oh, wait, you know, I've hosted twice before. Really? Yeah. Didn't see it. I would like to bury the hatchet with someone I've had issues with. Honestly, I will make changes in the monologue as I'm walking out on stage. I go to the teleprompter guy and go, just lose that joke. I don't feel good about it.
ABC has tasked us with finding a host who is unflappable and unslappable.
Good. Oh, that's good, because I can't get slapped. I cry a lot.
Well, after Will Smith smacked last year's host Chris Rock, Kimmel is taking no chances. I see you training. I mean, like the guys from Creed.
Now, luckily, I will have Adonis Creed in the audience in case anything might happen. And I said to him, please, for the love of God, if anybody tries to come at me, grab him, will you?
There's a mistake. Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture.
Moonlight won. Come on, this is not a joke. I remember when the envelope mix-up thing was happening, and nobody knew what to do, and I was the only one with a microphone on stage. And I remember looking into the audience at all these famous people, and Denzel Washington was telling me, he goes, give Barry the mic. He wanted me to give the director of Moonlight the mic, and I was like, Oh, yeah, that's what I should do.
I would like to see you get an Oscar anyway. Why can't we just give out a whole bunch of them?
Gary Allen Cole from Chicago.
Where are you from? Oh,
Yes,
you're from
sir.
Chicago?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You know we're on TV, so you don't need to do that.
I know, but I want to. I want to.
Jimmy, you got so much love coming from Chicago. What do you give back, and what can we really expect from you?
What I'll bring to Chicago, I can't give you Oprah this year, but hopefully an evening of 9 to 11 hours of laughs. I'm your guy.
Jose Sanders, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
His take is self-deprecating. That might
Oh
work.
my goodness, I love it.
We
I mean,
need it.
I really enjoy his hosting, and he's just, I mean, we love Jimmy.
But
We
looking
love
back at that stuff, some stuff has happened on his watch.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? The snafu and
the envelope snafu, and then of course, yes. So truly, it's incredible. We'll see what happens this year. You think any big moments?
I think there'll be some things, but nothing like
any
last
viral moments.
Probably no violence. I hope.
No
right?
violence.
Yeah.
Viral, but not violence.
There's got to be some jokes. I would think in his monologue or whatever he will do that are written about last year. He can't. He won't be able to not say anything. He's a comedian.
Absolutely. It's incredible. We'll see what happens, and I'm excited because I'm off the following Monday.
Oh.
So I get to stay up
You
and
can
really
stay up,
watch it. You
yeah.
know, I was doing like Monday through Friday morning, so I would never get to watch the full show.
It's a brutal
But now I'm
schedule.
going to stay up.
That's right.
Me and my dog, we're going to have popcorn and wine and just
You'll
drink
be
and
up,
watch.
yeah, past 9 p.m.
That's right.
Which will be good. You won't be alone, that's for sure.
All right, so here's the lineup for Oscar Sunday on ABC7. Tune in for a special edition of Eyewitness News airing early at 4 p.m. And then it's the red carpet time and the countdown. That is when it happens. And then also we have the Academy Awards that starts at 7. Then, of course, stay tuned for Eyewitness News at 10. Followed by a new episode of American Idol. So much to watch. You're just going to keep it locked on ABC7. Yeah, we know it.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
we will, of course, have more news in about 90 seconds. We have a car seat recall to tell you about tonight. Doral Juvenile Group is recalling more than 59,000 Safety First and Maxi Cozy car seats. The company says the anchors used to secure the base may fail, and that could cause the seat to detach from the car. Doral says it will mail a replacement base to owners for free. They're also mailing letters to people who may own these car seats. People can also visit Doral's website to look at the exact models that are recalled.
Are you planning a warm spring break getaway? Don't get your vacation stolen away by scammers.
I-Team and consumer investigator Jason Knowles has the warning from the Better Business Bureau.
Hi everybody, here's a quick travel scam tip. It's spring break travel season and scammers are trying to steal your travel plans. The Better Business Bureau says thieves are offering fraudulent vacation rentals, bookings, and using fake travel websites. Before making a final payment to a travel service, get all of the trip details in writing. Details should include the total cost, restrictions, cancellation penalties, and names of the airlines and hotels. Watch for third-party booking site scams. If you book your airfare, hotel, or other travel through a third-party website, be sure to use caution. BBB Scam Tracker continues to receive reports of scammers pretending to be online airline ticket brokers. Beware of too good to be true deals. Scammers often use deep discounts to lure in potential victims and use aggressive limited time language to entice travelers to pay before researching. Jason Knowles, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Jason, thank you.
Yeah, very good tips, especially around this time of year when so many people are thinking about spring break travel. You definitely want to protect your money from those scammers.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Still ahead, from DACA recipient to police officer, the state legislation that could allow more people to serve their communities.
But first, several students taken to the hospital after a harmful spray was released in their classroom. Well, we're learning about their conditions next.
All right, so the roads look a little damp out there, but still in the downtown area, it looks like we are not seeing snow, at least not yet.
It may happen, but you were talking about the lake temperature maybe affecting down here, but there are parts of our area right now dealing with some snow.
Yeah, some areas will see some snow, but here downtown, we will mix in some snowflakes here and there, and I do think we'll transition for a quick maybe hour or two to a little bit of snow, but not enough to accumulate because our road temperatures and our sidewalk temperatures are just above freezing, and so that snow is going to have a hard time sticking. A winter weather advisory in effect for Chicago, and that goes all the way through 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. We have that winter weather advisory because we have that chance to have the slushy accumulation in some spots. It really depends on our temperature. Notice here the water temperature on the lake is at 37, the lakefront pretty much matching that, so our temperature tries to do that. O'Hare's a little bit away from the lake, and so dropping down now to 35 degrees. McHenry at 32, Hampshire at 32 as well, Lake Geneva at 30, and this is where we're starting to see some of that snow accumulate on our back roads. Here's a wide look at the system. There's the heavy precipitation now over us, so we're going to have the heaviest of precipitation from now all the way through about midnight, and then it starts to slow down and the system starts to move out of here. So we'll take here a closer look to show you where that rain snow line is. It is just north of Chicago. Follow it through Naperville down through Sandwich. This is north. This is where we're seeing some of that heavier snowfall now, and you can see some of these darker colors popping up. Elgin and through Schaumburg, right now we're seeing some of those darker colors popping up on radar. This is where we're having some of that heavy wet snow out there. We will continue to have this here again from now up until about midnight. Here in Chicago, though, we're mainly just seeing rain. It might stay that way for most of this event, expecting to get maybe a half an inch to an inch here in the city. We'll talk more about all this system and this upcoming weekend coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Heisel, thank you so much. Ambulances were called to a Southside school today. Officials tell us a harmful spray was released in a classroom. It happened at Fairfield Elementary School. Evelyn Holmes with how several students are now being treated at the hospital.
13-year-old Shamaya Cooper is one of over a dozen kids sickened after a student released a stink bomb in a classroom at Fairfield Elementary Academy.
I noticed that the windows was open and some students were coughing and getting nauseous.
The 8th grader who has asthma got sick too. Her family rushed to the CPS Elementary School in the Chicago Lawn neighborhood on the city's southwest side to pick her up after being notified about the incident.
I was at work and they called me saying that it was an issue with classmates spraying something in the classroom and that the students were having a hard time breathing.
Emergency crews were called to the school just before 10 o'clock this morning. Although firefighters say the spray was non-toxic, 3 students having problems breathing were taken to the hospital in good to fair condition. 13 other children and 1 adult were evaluated at the scene and are expected to be okay.
I'm just glad that all the students is okay and that they solved the issue.
Cooper's mom says the school needs to increase security efforts. In an email to parents today, Fairfield's principal writes in part, "Safety is always my top priority. A member of our community released a spray with a bad odor in the classroom. Staff immediately intervened. We will continue to handle this matter in accordance with CPS policy." Now, classes did resume after the incident, which is being looked into by school officials. Reporting from Chicago's Southwest Side, Evelyn Holmes, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Illinois House Committee has unanimously approved legislation that would grant Chicago cops and firefighters full benefits if they're severely affected by COVID-19. This comes after emotional testimony from Illinois Controller Susana Mendoza. Her brother, a CPD detective who lost both his kidneys due to a COVID infection. He was denied benefits that would have given him free health care and 75% of his salary. This bill now moves to the full House for a vote. More money could be coming to Chicago for the extension of the CTA Red Line on the south side. Today, President Biden released his 2024 fiscal year budget. $350 million in it would go for the long-discussed extension. It will add 5.6 miles of rail from 95th Street to 130th with 4 new stations. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg talked about this afternoon.
This is an extension that is estimated to serve 13,000 people a day boarding the L at these new stops on the south side, and means that they'll be able to access opportunity across much more of Chicagoland.
It would be huge for the south side. In December, Chicago City Council approved a new $959 million tax increment financing zone to help build the extension.
It'll be an even busier summer for Millennium Park. The city announced that 4 cultural nonprofits now have residency there, a first for the park. As part of the residency, the Chicago Human Rhythm Project, National Public Housing Museum, Praise Productions, and the Puerto Rican Arts Alliance will all host a free event this summer. It'll happen on the J. Pritzker Pavilion stage.
Thinking about summer already.
I know, I can't wait. Just need the weather to change over
a
little bit.
Getting there. It's slow, right? A few weeks ago, we brought you the story of a woman in Chicago's south suburbs who took an unconventional path to becoming a police officer.
Officer Michelle Soto Rodriguez came to this country as a child. She gained legal status under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Act, or DACA. Now, her decision to serve her community is inspiring others with a similar past. Leah Hope brings us this new chapter in a story that's making us Chicago proud.
It's been a long day. The police chief from Blue Island just returned from Springfield after he and a new hire, who is a DACA recipient, testified at a legislative committee meeting early this morning. The 2 were guests of State Representative Barbara Hernandez at the Police and Fire Committee meeting.
I was scared. It was my first time going down to Springfield.
Last month, Hernandez introduced legislation that would allow DACA recipients to be considered for law enforcement positions statewide. Last week, we profiled Officer Michelle Soto Rodriguez, a school safety officer just hired to be a police officer. You see, Blue Island is now allowing DACA recipients to apply to be police officers. Today in Springfield, with a vote of 9-4, the bill moves out of committee to the full House floor.
She's making history, and I'm very happy to see that. And that's why it's very personal. It's very touching for me.
I was happy. I was really happy because that's a step.
Representative John Cabello is a police officer who voted against the bill for several reasons, chiefly the concern for officers' safety as a DACA officer could not legally have a firearm when not on duty.
If you're allowing an officer to leave the police department, are they in uniform or are they not in uniform? Even if they're not in uniform, people recognize law enforcement officers.
Back in Blue Island, the chief understands that concern and hopes federal law will change. In the meantime, he says Soto Rodriguez is the right fit for their department and their community.
If this results in more recipients feeling welcome, feeling as though they have a voice, a chance, how is that a bad thing?
Soto Rodriguez starts the academy this weekend, and there may be more in her situation. The chief says 5 more DACA recipients have applied to be officers. In Blue Island, Leah Hope, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Really creating a blueprint that, as she mentioned, could become a national one.
Yes, so inspiring. And as I said, 5 other people have now expressed interest in applying. So it's really incredible. And she's really, truly an inspiration.
A lot of forces who need help.
Right.
They need officers.
A lot of vacancies, right?
Well qualified like her.
Absolutely. This is a great pipeline program. So I'm hoping that even more people, once they see this story, will be inspired.
Definitely. We got 20 minutes left in the show. We got to take a quick break. We're going to chat about some things after that.
The FDA is updating its regulations surrounding mammograms. One of the key changes will require mammography facilities to notify patients about their dense breast density. Dense breast tissue is normal and a common finding that occurs in about half of women undergoing mammograms. However, the extra tissue can make tumors more difficult to detect on mammograms, and many patients don't realize having dense breasts is a significant risk factor for getting breast cancer. The FDA says the new regulations will help doctors better assess and categorize mammograms.
Now watch this, gone in 40 seconds. Roughly how long the manager at this Kentucky car dealership says it took a group of thieves to steal 6 high-performance vehicles. Cameras capture the thieves taking off with 4 of the cars right from the showroom floor. Manager says he believes the suspects knew where to find the keys and how that security system worked. 5 of the cars have been found, and at least 1 person is under arrest. They got the cars, doesn't sound like they got away. 25 years after winning Best Picture for the Oscar-winning film Titanic, producer John Landau is again a Best Picture nominee, this time for Avatar: The Way of Water.
John steps onto the red carpet storyteller spotlight to discuss the heart behind the iconic film, how movies have the power to impact and inspire positive change, and the importance of creating opportunities for historically underrepresented storytellers.
When people ask me, do I have a favorite character or creature in the film, I say to them, do you have a favorite child? It's very hard to pick a favorite because each one represents something different. I think in the character of Loak, a child who is living in the shadow of his father. How many of us have lived in the shadow of our parents and not understanding how they're parenting us? I see Kiri, a teenage girl struggling to find her own identity in life. How many young men and women are struggling to find their own identity as teenagers? And in Jake and Neytiri, what are the lengths you go to protect your children? You know, one of the things that is really interesting is that neither Sam Worthington or Zoe Saldana had children when we made the first Avatar. They both had children when we were making this story about family. And it changed their perspective on how to play those parts because of what it means to protect your child. Strong heart. In Avatar, we have a saying, Inate Kameya, I see you.
I see you.
And I think it means seeing someone for who they really are on the inside, not who they are on the outside. And, you know, I think that's the important thing about everything that we do, is to see people and recognize them as the individual that they are.
There's a lot of deepness to that movie.
Absolutely.
I think people are saying
Very
that.
much so.
Now, you can watch John's full spotlight, which includes a special look at some behind-the-scenes footage, by heading over to ontheredcarpet.com. Storytellers. Just Google it. I hope. Here's the lineup for Oscar Sunday on ABC 7. Tune in for a special edition on Eyewitness News. It's airing early at 4 p.m. Then it's on the red carpet and the countdown to the Oscars. The Academy Awards start at 7. Stay tuned for a special edition of Eyewitness News at 10, followed by a new episode of American Idol.
In other words, keep it locked on ABC 7. We have so much in store on Sunday. Still ahead, a family flooded with letters to a superhero.
The common denominator with their address and Spider-Man.
Well, this story is really cute to me. Letters from all over the world being sent to one New York family's home, but they're not for them. They're for a superhero.
So letters are being sent to Spider-Man. The Parkers moved into 20 Ingram Street in Forest Hills, Queens in 1974. Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man's address wasn't revealed until 1989. And since then, they've been getting letters from all over the world. And the letters are now part of a Dear Spider-Man Letters to Peter Parker exhibit. The curator of the exhibit says the comic book writers deny any connection, but he thinks they wanted to keep the story authentic and maybe just randomly pick the name and address out of the phone book. You probably get some really cool stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really cool.
Are you guys Spider-Man fans?
Oh, my goodness.
You are?
I'm Spider-Man, but I like the first Spider-Man. The guy from Seabiscuit, what's his name?
Oh, Tobey Maguire.
Yes.
Yeah,
if it's not Tobey, I don't want to see it.
Yeah. Did you ever see the cartoon one, Into the Spider-Verse? Are you a Spider-Man fan? No?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
I'm not a huge fan, but I've seen the movies.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my family to watch that for years.
Okay.
It's an animated feature about, and he goes into the Spider-Verse, and it's really good.
I want to say I've seen parts of it.
It's really like wholesome
I watched the
story.
recent one where all three Spider-Men.
That was cool. I saw that.
I saw the memes when they're like, you.
Right. And Tobey was back in that. He made an
I
appearance.
heard about that.
That's the only reason I watched it.
Yeah, I don't know. I
feel the same.
Clearly, I'm like very much Team Tobey because I thought he made the perfect Spider-Man.
He was good.
It was
yeah.
good.
Oh, I think all those actors have pulled it off pretty well.
Okay, I'll I'll give them a chance.
Yeah,
I'll give them a chance.
Superstar Janet Jackson will be back on TV screens.
Right, Lifetime and AME Network. They say that a new documentary is in the works. Janet Jackson, Family First, will chronicle her life and career as she embarks on her tour this year. They say we will also get to see her collaboration with brother Randy Jackson to reunite the family band after 40 years since their last performance. It's going to be iconic. The network say her first documentary success is the reason for this decision. It was seen by 21 million viewers last year. The new documentary is currently filming and a release date has not yet been announced. Did you all see the recent documentary? I want to say it was maybe about a year ago or so.
I saw a part. I did not watch the whole thing. I mean, here it has taken her this long to have this comeback after so much went down.
So much went down.
After the Super Bowl, and what really happened behind the scenes was just staggering.
Absolutely. It really made a lot of people feel for her, too, because we just didn't know, and she remained silent for so long. She also touched on her brother Michael and just a lot of his challenges. So she touched on her relationship with Jermaine Dupri. It was
deep.
Awesome. It was deep.
Yeah.
She covered more than I thought she would. So
good. And now gets a second one, I think, which is going to help people understand and put her back. We're talking about it now, so good for her.
That's right. All right, we've got this story as well. Jenny from the block is back in the studio.
Jennifer Lopez has announced she is set to release her 9th studio album sometime this summer.
The upcoming album, This Is Me Now, coming out this summer. Yes, you heard it here first. I'm super excited.
Okay, so I have that one right there.
You too?
The one on the screen.
That's a classic.
Yeah. The upcoming album, This Is Me Now. It's a play on her 3rd studio album, This Is Me Then. And so far, the exact release date has not been set.
So I'm a big J-Lo fan.
Oh, okay, that's your girl. I love her too. I like her a lot.
I was so happy. So many of my friends sent me that video of that she posted that to release the album because she's in the old outfit, and then I was like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden she takes her hat off, and I'm like, she's making it a new album.
It's gonna be great.
How do you feel about Ben?
No comment. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Okay.
I'm just joking. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to see them back together.
Yeah.
Did you guys see their commercial on Super Bowl?
Oh, the Dunkin' Donuts
Dunkin'
one? Yeah, it was clever. Everybody was talking about them after the Emmys.
When they seemed to be
Oh, no, the Grammys.
bickering.
I'm sorry, the Grammys. Yes, right?
She seemed to be reprimanding him, and he seemed to be over it.
They're brilliant marketers. I wonder now, as time's passed, if that was just not totally intentional.
Yeah.
I mean, the camera's right there.
Right, it was literally right there.
But did they know that they were live?
You should always assume. It's just like when
Of
we put these
course.
microphones
Right,
on.
it's like- Yeah,
I always
that's
assume
true.
you're listening. But yeah, I mean, that seemed genuine, right? It seemed like.
I mean, I can only imagine how many of these shows do they go to, you know?
Yeah, it's like
every single year.
after a while, it's like, you
And
know
she's
what,
always-
I'm not being reserved anymore.
She's always on the spotlight. We're always looking for her outfits, and she's always on, you know, and
This was the
her partner
Grammys.
doesn't necessarily have to be on all the time.
It's the Grammys. He was like, Ben, just smile.
Just smile.
Act
He's-
like you want to be
he's
there,
over it.
dude.
He's tired
I mean,
of
the
the plus one
performances were
nonsense.
so cool. That's when he should have been smiling, and he still wasn't.
And he was
He
not
still
dancing.
wasn't. He
Like,
was
come on,
over
that's
it.
Stevie
It's like-
Wonder up there. Fake it. We got to take a last look at weather because you got a busy night. There's some stuff going on.
Yeah, rain, snow out there. Here in Chicago downtown, we're just seeing wet roads, and it's mainly just rain right now. And that's because we do have some areas that are going to have a little bit of snow through the overnight hours. We're actually going to see the heaviest of snow here in the next few hours. So midway, the temperature's still at 39 degrees. Joliet at 41, Morris at 39. So yes, we're going to continue to have rain in these areas, but north of that, our temperatures are a little bit colder, and we are now switching over to some snow. And in some spots, you've been seeing snow for maybe an hour or two. Maybe now it's starting to stick to our back roads. 35 degrees of temperature at O'Hare, but notice DeKalb at 32, St. Charles at 33, Burlington at 32 degrees. We do have some pockets every now and then of some heavier snow, and you can see that in the darker blue colors from Highland Park all the way down. You can see that we have some of these darker colors. Schaumburg seeing a little bit of some light snow right now. Maybe it was really going for a minute there, and then it kind of stopped. We're going to go through that here where you might see some heavy snow, and then it kind of dies down a little bit and then picks up. That's going to happen here within the next 2 2 or 3 hours. Here's a look at 10 p.m. to show you that. But because we have our wind coming from the lake and our lake temperatures are in the mid and upper 30s, it's going to be really hard to accumulate snow here in Chicago, right downtown. But just inland, I do think we have a little bit of some slushy accumulation. And then notice here, really winding things down by 3 in the morning. And then by 7 a.m., just a few flakes flying in the sky here for the morning commute. I think for the morning commute, we'll have minor impacts, mainly because crews will have time to clean up some of those back roads because it's really shutting down by 3, 4 in the morning. And then by 7 a.m., it's mainly just a few flurries. And we might have that left over here throughout the day. We might have clouds and maybe a few flakes and sprinkles as well. So here's a look at our snow map to show you that Chicago, right downtown, is included in that less than 1 because of that lake influence. Then you just go a little bit further inland. We're talking 1 to 3 inches of snow, and then further north, Waukegan through Cary, Lake Geneva, there is that chance that we get 3 to 6 inches of snow with this system. So here's a closer look at this. This model doing a pretty good job at showing what we're thinking is going to happen. So I'll zoom in here to show you some of the totals that this particular model is giving. To the north, we have some areas that near Crystal Lake maybe get about 5 inches of snow. Harvard closer to 4, Lake Geneva closer to 5 inches, and then as we go further south, it's less, and it's a sharp cutoff here. Notice that it's showing that in some areas we're only going to get about 1 inch to perhaps 2 inches of snow, and you continue to see that even out further west near Aurora, just getting close to 1 inch of snow from the system. It's going to be a slushy mess type of thing. Wrigley Field plotting here on the map, about 1 inch of snow, and again also some of that slushy mess that we're going to be dealing with. And then northwest Indiana, less than 1 inch of snow from this one. Again, it's mainly just going to be some snowflakes mixed in for you in the next couple of hours here. So that's for tonight into tomorrow. Again, minor impacts for the commute in the morning, and then we turn the page to this weekend. The St. Patrick's Day parade is going to be this weekend. Noon, about 34, 3 p.m. about 35. So our temperatures don't move much because we have a lot of cloud cover around. We will have a breeze that will make it feel like the 20s. So if you're going to be out and about and you're going to be walking outside a lot, you'll want to bundle up. Here's a look at your 7-day. Showing you that tomorrow we have those showers lingering in the morning, but very light stuff, breezy in the mid 30s. And then this weekend we spring forward. Temperatures won't feel like it though. We're going to be in the mid 30s. We could have some accumulating snow Saturday night where we have maybe a coating to 2 inches of snow, some lingering snow showers on Sunday, and then lake effect flurries. So guys, really not feeling like spring.
Hey, but you did say that last year we were in the 20s around St. Patrick's Day weekend, so I guess we should be a little bit more grateful.
It could be
right?
worse.
It could be worse.
All right. Yeah.
So thank you. St. Patrick's Day is next week, or this week rather, next week. But this weekend, the city of Aurora will hold its first ever parade celebrating the holiday. Starting at noon on Sunday, it will be the Daniel Dolan Senior Procession with more than 20 parade units. Now, Dan Dolan was a Korean War veteran and former Aurora firefighter who profoundly represented his Irish heritage. He passed away in 2020 at the age of 89. This weekend's event will coincide with the second annual Irish flag ceremony in Aurora.
Chicago will go green this Saturday with the dyeing of the Chicago River. That's happening at 10 a.m. The parade steps off shortly afterward on Columbus Drive. And you can watch the parade live starting at 12:30 on ABC7. Larry Mowry, Liz Nagy, Judy Sue all hosting. We'll have parade coverage on our website and news app. If you're streaming us now, it'll be here as well. We'll be right back.
is a fan favorite. This is Broadway in Chicago's Annie, now on a limited run at Cadillac Palace Theater, and that runs through March 19th. An oldie but goodie.
Yeah, just down the street from us
That's
here.
right.
Ladies, it was nice to have you on the show. It's like the weekend morning team sitting with me
I
here.
know,
You
that's
guys up
right.
late. You can't be used to it, but it was great to have you.
Invasion.
That's right. Anytime. You're welcome anytime. Thanks for joining us. For Heisel Martinez, I'm Rob Belgis.
And I'm Samantha Chapman. We will see you tonight right here at 10.